Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 29th, and yes, outside existential threats certainly can impact the market, and we've been pushed down to the low side of the range here pretty quick on the missile launch by North Korea right over Japan. That is definitely a risk-off event, and shows an unbridled escalation in the situation, and that is definitely going to cause players to be, pulling back, so to speak. We had also a decent run. We were starting to get a little bit of a move from midterm buyers, even long-term, but as soon as the situation unfolded, things just melted down super quick. There wasn't even a breath. It's like that was shocking news. NQ doesn't look as bad. It probably will move a little bit more, but it'll be proportional to what we just saw from the ES. Euro skyrocketing on that, so the dollar taking its continued beating. This is getting way outside the range. It's, I'm sure, designed to help bolster U.S. market, but that's been a dramatic move from the euro, from that bicycle we had a while back. Bonds, you'll probably see them skyrocket as well. Just no way around it. I mean, there's just going to be a flight to safety 100% of the way. We've seen gasoline prices skyrocket. That's not going to impact crude with the whole Texas flood. That's a whole separate issue. You have that impact on what that's going to do to growth, going forward to the quarters. And it could have a stimulus down the road, but probably not yet. It's going to take quite a bit of money to fix things. And it's not over yet, so it's still in the process. So there's just a lot of little things happening all at once, and of course this was no surprise anyway. Their buy from gold back here, there's no question about it. This certainly adds to that fear factor that everyone was throwing in there, and sure enough, definitely gold is the answer. And you can see it right here. We were moving back towards the highs, which is what the expectation was, given where we were. And then right as the market ended, and it's an interesting thing, we ended up with that cyan steel, which is our short-term buyers, closing below cyan, which typically gets to be a little bit bearish, particularly if you're already underneath with the red-green. And then sure enough, as soon as the new session opened, it's like boom, gone. I mean, that was just a terror inflection point from the beginning, and continued all the way to the lows. Ended up with a brief little buy configuration right there, but it didn't have enough, and then we could tell it wasn't going to be sustainable without a reset of short-term buyers. And everything that's coming through there, all it's done is produce the exact same effect, which is hit the slight resistance short algo, in this case hit the long algo right up here, and then begin to fade back to new lows. We're starting to see a low decline that could give us another little rally going back up, but we don't have a reset of anything, and it's going to take a little more than a few hours for the fear element to just wear off. So, and this is also going to create a little bit of a long squeeze, because you've got some longs that are now trapped a little bit, and so it gives the shorts a little bit of an advantage. That may take a day or two to wear off as we head into end of month situation. We're still not outside the range. If you broke below 24, then I think you could say that there's real action that could be considered volatile. We haven't heard much of a response from the administration on the whole situation yet, so that sort of kept things a little bit dampered down. We're not getting any crazy rhetoric that they're immediately going to attack or anything. So if they're pretty much kind of just blowing it off and ignoring it, then maybe the market will probably see that as a sign that cooler heads are prevailing, and we're not going to get into something just for the sake of getting into something. So we'll see how it plays out, but definitely those are the shocks that, not always easy to foretell when someone does something crazy like that. Because we were in pretty decent condition. Everything was fairly modest, despite all of the claims that the market had to collapse. This is a real situation and a real danger for the world, not just markets in general. It could have a crippling effect on a lot of things. So we will follow it as it happens. Going to continue making some adjustments on our algos for color changes for the paint bar to match the indications from the DOC. So I'm hoping that will get wrapped up so that it'll go out the next day or two with the new indicators for the month. So as always, though, continue to look for us on the Skype chat, and we'll keep going through these little setups as they take place. Pretty much most of Monday was just blasé. We had the dip of our highs right there, which we were looking for a return to the high. We came close to it, but every time we got anywhere near there, we ended up with more sell signals, and it was just pretty much flat. And then we were ending the day, and it started to work its way back up right before the whole missile launch thing, and then that really just stopped it cold because it was on its way right back there. We had passed the 50%, we're already up to the 76, and then boom. So it happens. As always, though, I'll be on the Skype chat. Trade well. We'll talk to you later.